Gurmagus Cahirlock and Agus Fáilte Ara Rash to the Seanad. I want to thank Senator Wall for tabling this discussion and this piece of legislation. It is a very important piece of legislation, and it's one that is very appropriate that the Senate would deal with, because it deals directly with our local authorities. And so in talking about this issue today, we're not just serving the local communities represented by our local authority members, but we're also serving our elected local authority members. And I really welcome the discussion. And I think this is a very constructive piece of legislation. I want to, before I also continue to talk about the legislation, I want to commend my colleague Senator Malcolm Byrne, who himself has undertaken significant work on this issue. He's consulted widely with local authority members, both elected and the officials, and he has brought forward and continues to bring forward very constructive suggestions and proposals in this area. And it is one that I believe we should work on cross-party and collectively. There's a common interest and a common purpose here. We all recognise the problem and the challenge, and I believe with our collective efforts we can make progress in tackling this issue. I also want to commend all of the staff in the local authorities right around the country. I suppose Dublin City Council is my local authority, and Dublin Central and the North Inner City is unfortunately repeatedly featured as a litter hotspot and illegal dumping hotspot in every IBAL report. The Irish Business Association Against Litter group, they issue their reports, and with really depressing regularity, the North Inner City is there as the #1 hotspot, and that is not down to our reflection on the efforts of either the local authority staff, people working in the public domain, people in waste management, and all of the voluntary groups, all of the residents of the North Inner City and businesses of the North Inner City who work on a voluntary basis, give of their time after they've done a day's work to go out and pick up rubbish and pick up illegal dumping. And it's not good enough. I thank them for all of the efforts and energy they give to it, but it's not good enough, and I hope we can make progress on the legislation. Just in terms of the issue of illegal dumping and the use of CCTV, local authority use of CCTV, and I suppose living in the city, the whole issue of CCTV is very alive. People think of it not just for prosecuting illegal dumping, but also prosecuting other types of antisocial behaviour. So be it vandalism, be it graffiti, be it actual theft, and more serious crimes. And the Gardaí operate significant CCTV network in the North Inner City, and the local authority could benefit from the enhanced technologies. But I think we do need to look at it beyond just CCTV, and I think when we talk about CCTV, are we talking about recording it? Are we talking about it being live streamed? Are we talking about it being live monitored? There are discussions that need to be held. We need to have proper assessment of what the resource requirement would be in terms of staffing, in terms of equipment, and in terms of investment. Because there's no point in us putting a camera up and then it not being monitored or it not being recorded. And as has already been alluded to in the debate, acted on and enforced. It's hard enough to catch them, but you catch somebody and then hugely frustrating for City Council officials to progress that to court, only to go to court and have it result in no effective enforcement. And I'm wondering, Minister, is there, have you got some scope in your role? The local authorities also chair the joint policing committees, and joint policing committees act in a strategic way to address safety issues and issues of public concern. And I'm wondering, Minister, is there some scope for you as Minister to engage with the local authorities in their capacity of administering the JPCs, the Joint Policing Committees, to have them engage with the judiciary on this issue, have them engage with the judiciary in a strategic level around the prosecution and the dealing in court of fines, because it is something that I know from a Dublin City perspective is a huge frustration to have gone to all the effort to have detected, to brought them to court, and then to have the case amount to absolutely no improvement. I would also ask, Minister, that, and my colleague is going to talk more to the technicalities of the bill and the data protection issue, so I'm going to leave that to Senator Byrne. But when we talk about the education and the awareness, the signs that are up on the lampposts, pick up your dog's poo, the dogs don't read, and their owners clearly don't give a, what's being left on the ground. I didn't say it here, but you know what I'm thinking, right? So the truth of it is we need to accept that we're piling money into awareness and education and signs and all of that. It's not working, and it's costing millions, and that's only in the amount of money that we actually capture, because there is an awful lot more. I mean, Dublin City Council, $1 million on illegal dumping, that does not include all of the costs of reinstatement, repairs, dealing with the vandalism, the destruction of property. So we need to recognise, as Senator Wall, you said it, how would we spend that money in our communities in terms of either sports facilities, recreation facilities, cultural investment in our communities? Minister, I would ask you to look at that issue really in a serious way and take that up as well. So Gurmagat and Gurmagat Kirloch.